Ever feel like the harder you try in a relationship, the faster he checks out? Like you're giving your best, and somehow that just makes him pull away? Yeah, been there, confused, and very single. The first value killer, over-investing too soon. Okay, let me set the scene. You meet someone new. He's charming, funny, smells like the inside of a high-end cologne commercial. And just like that, your brain decides this man is the one. You're 2 dates in, and suddenly, you're mentally naming your future kids and picturing what your initials would look like, hyphenated with his last name. Sound familiar? Yeah, it's not just you. Now, relationship coach Matthew Hussey says this kind of emotional overdrive is one of the sneakiest ways we accidentally tank our value in a man's eyes. And trust me, it happens faster than you think. 1 minute, you're having a great time getting to know him. Next, you're building an emotional Airbnb in his heart when he hasn't even asked you to move in. Here's what's really happening when we do this. When you invest too much, too early, before someone has actually earned that closeness, you're not just being vulnerable, you're basically walking up to a stranger and handing over your self-worth wrapped in a bow. And the thing is, most people don't even realize they're doing it. It feels like love, it feels like openness, but what it really signals is desperation. It shows that your happiness is sitting in someone else's lap and you barely even know the guy. And let's be real. What does that say about your own life? If someone can stroll into your world with a half-decent smile and suddenly become your emotional home base, it doesn't scream, "I've got a full satisfying life." It whispers, "Please validate me so I can breathe." Now let's dive into the psychology because this part is both fascinating and brutally accurate. When we're really craving connection, our judgment goes out for coffee and never comes back. Matthew calls this being an unreliable judge. We stop seeing the actual person and start dating the fantasy version we've built in our head. You're not falling in love with him. You're falling in love with the idea of him, a dangerous little hologram created by hope and hormones. Here's something that helped me personally. The next time you catch yourself spiraling into future wife mode, hit pause, grab a notebook or your notes app because, let's be honest, and write down 3 solid things this person has shown you through actions, not sweet talk or curated selfies, just actions. Can't think of 3? That's not a soulmate. That's potential. And potential doesn't pay off unless it's backed by reality. What's wild is that this kind of emotional overinvestment doesn't just make you feel unstable, it actually repels the kind of men you should want. Healthy, grounded guys, they don't want to feel like they've been cast as the lead in your rom-com before the trailers even dropped. They'll feel smothered and quietly exit stage left. But the guys who do stick around, yeah, those are usually the ones looking for someone to control, not connect with. So if you've been wondering why things keep starting off hot and then fizzle fast, this might be why. You're not too much. You're just giving too much too soon to someone who hasn't even earned the backstage pass to your heart. The second value killer, constantly seeking reassurance. Let's be honest. When you really like someone, there's this little gremlin in your brain that wants constant updates. Do they still like me? Did I do something weird? Are we okay? Should I send a cute text or is that too much? It's like a full-time job monitoring every little shift in their tone or texting speed. I used to think this made me attentive, thoughtful even. Like I cared about the relationship, right? What I didn't realize is that every time I went fishing for reassurance, I was quietly draining the value out of myself. Drip by needy little drip. Now listen, wanting some reassurance every now and then is totally normal. We're human, not robots. But there's a massive canyon between asking for clarity when something feels off and making it someone else's job to babysit your emotional state 24/7. When it becomes a habit, it stops being cute and starts sounding like, "Hi, I don't trust that you actually like me. And by the way, I'm not totally sure I like me either." Here's where Matthew Hussey drops the truth bomb. Constant reassurance seeking isn't about them. It's about you. It's about that inner craving for safety that we've decided someone else needs to satisfy. So we latch on to this person who might have only been in our lives for 5 seconds and silently hand them a job application for chief emotional stabilizer. And without even realizing it, we're asking them to fill out daily reports confirming we're lovable. It's kind of like saying, "Hey, I'm not sure I'm okay. Can you be in charge of making sure I am?" Not exactly a romantic vibe. That's not a relationship. It's a hostage situation with emotional check-ins. And the really painful part? This whole cycle starts to push people away, because the more we ask, the more we communicate. I'm not enough unless you tell me I am. It sends up red flags, not the obvious kind, but the kind that whisper insecurity. And for someone who's emotionally secure and healthy, that whisper starts to feel loud, unsettling even. Here's the visual. You're in a boat, worried it's sinking. Instead of patching up the holes yourself, you keep turning to the other person and asking, "Are we floating? Are you sure? Does it feel like we're floating to you?" And eventually, they're like, "I don't know anymore, but now I do feel seasick." So let's flip this. The next time your brain starts panicking and wants that hit of reassurance, try asking yourself this. If I already knew I was 100% worthy of love, how would I act right now? Seriously, if you knew you were the prize, what would your next move be? Would you chase? Panic? Probably not. You'd breathe, chill, maybe go make a smoothie. Because the truth is, people with secure self-worth don't walk around trying to get everyone to validate them. They just know. They're not checking their emotional reflection in someone else's eyes every 5 minutes. They've built something solid on the inside. And that energy, that's magnetic. That's what makes people want to be close, not run for the hills. So next time you're tempted to say, "Are we okay?" try saying it to yourself first, and then give yourself the yes you were looking for. The third value killer, making him the center of your world. All right, let's get into the one that really stings. And I mean really stings. Because this one doesn't just kill your value in someone's eyes, it slowly eats away at you. It's when you make him the sun, moon, and Wi-Fi signal of your universe. The moment your calendar becomes his mood board, your plans depend on his texts, and your hobbies quietly pack their bags and leave. Yeah, you're in dangerous territory. And trust me, I've been there. I've done the whole, "I'll cancel dinner with my friends just in case he wants to hang out." Or, "Let me keep my weekend open even though he hasn't said a word about plans." I thought I was being devoted, flexible, available. In reality, I was just disappearing, shrinking my entire world down to fit inside someone else's pocket. What I didn't realize back then was that by doing this, I wasn't making him feel more loved. I was making myself look like I had nothing else going on. That's not romantic. That's a red flag in disguise. You become predictable, overly available, and honestly, kind of forgettable. And I don't say that to be harsh. I say it because I wish someone had told me. So, what can you actually do about it? Simple. Pick 3 things that light you up. Things you love doing just for you. Could be painting, running, solo brunches, karaoke with your friends, whatever. Just make sure they have nothing to do with romance. And then actually do one this week. No matter what he's doing, no waiting to see if he's free. Your life doesn't go on pause for potential. Because here's the truth, a full, joyful, purpose-driven life is wildly attractive. When your happiness isn't hanging on someone else's availability, you're not just high value, you're irresistible. Love should add to your life, not become your whole life. So build something so fulfilling that if someone walks in, it's a bonus, not a rescue. All 3 of these habits, over-investing too soon, seeking constant reassurance, and making someone your whole world, come from the same place, trying to feel worthy through someone else's attention. But the more you chase that feeling, the more you lose your value in their eyes. The truth? Confidence is magnetic. A full, meaningful life doesn't just attract better relationships, it protects you from the wrong ones. When you stop making someone else responsible for your happiness, you become the kind of person people genuinely want to be around. So here's your challenge. Spend this week pouring into your own life, your goals, your friends, your passions, not for anyone else, but for you. If this resonated, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. And tell me in the comments, what are you choosing to reclaim today? Let's start valuing ourselves for real.